I was just saying to someone yesterday that if Windborne just existed as business partners, I don't think we would have lasted as long as we have.
Right.
And the fact that our friendships preceded the band and are at the center of everything that we do. I mean, I feel so lucky to be spending all of this time creating really meaningful work with three people that I care about so much. So yeah.
What tell me about some of the meaningful work. Tell me about well, education. I know that you teach in schools. What are some of the moments that have really moved you, where you've walked away and you go, "Oh, I'm so glad that we were part of that."
There's one moment that really springs to mind, um, that feels like it was recently, but it actually was over a year ago at this point. It was pre-pandemic, and so we were still touring. And many of our concerts, we really know that we're going into it performing for people who have somewhat similar ideas and beliefs as we do, and it can feel like preaching to the choir.
Right.
And there was this one gig that we had in the middle of this long tour of the Midwest, and we were out in a very rural town in a very rural and poor county, and I won't say exactly where it was, but um, and sort of from the moment that we arrived, we knew it was going to be a different kind of gig. And like instead of the parking lot being totally full of Priuses, it was full of pickup trucks. We went in, like they didn't have like the hummus and falafel or whatever that we usually get served or something like that. They had the sloppy joes, and people were talking about how it was going to be a conflict because it was the opening day of hunting season, and so that everyone was going to be there. And the organizer said, you know, I'm really excited about your music. I'm really excited about your message, but we get people with really, really different beliefs here. And we had a quick conversation and sort of said, okay, are we going to do anything differently? And basically decided, no, we're gonna sing our set. And we sang our set, and people loved it. And I just sort of convinced myself that although the town had voted 85% for Trump in 2016, I said, okay, this is the 15%. But the next day we got this email from an audience member who'd been there, and he said, you know, well, he first started saying, your music is beautiful. I loved the show. It was great, blah, blah, blah. And then he went on to say, you know, I've been a lifelong Republican. I'm very conservative. But your music made me question why I believe the things that I believe. And I think that's a good thing. And he didn't say he changed his mind. He didn't say he was gonna suddenly, I don't know, he didn't change anything, but just like planting that tiny little seed of doubt, or the possibility for change in a world where everyone seems to be so stuck in like their beliefs and no one changes their mind about anything.
Yes.
Just that little moment of, okay, maybe this music is opening up something new, and that feels so powerful to me.
Right.
So that's something that I think about a lot.
I mean that's a moment I think that all of us think about when we're like, well, what difference is our music making? And it is sort of a really unique moment, but also more generally at concerts all the time, I feel like we get people coming up to us who are super on board with the message, but who are really burned out or really disheartened. And they say things like, you know, we throughout Windborne's career, like we sounded good, and people would say, "Oh, I loved your concert. Your singing is beautiful." But in the past 4 years, we had people coming up to us saying, you know, your music is giving me hope, and your music is inspiring me to get re-engaged with my community or re-engaged with activism, and that feels like
Just as important.
yeah, and so I hold on to that a lot when I think about like, well, why, you know, aren't we just like four people singing to people who already think the same things as us? And that
Mhm.
helps me remember, you know, that's an important piece. That sort of art re-energizing and re-inspiring people is really important.
Amen to that.
Given the way that you're presenting these messages, you know, given your style of music, is there do you feel like it raises awareness in new ways, do you know, about the times we're living in, because it is the style that it is? And Lynn, you were this a little bit with the kind of, well, right, because it brings people in, especially if you're in an educational setting. But I just wonder if there's as a delivery platform, you know, to the messaging, if there's something that, I don't know, that you want to say about your style, you know, your particular.
Yeah, Will, did you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say that not necessarily the style specifically, but more the material. One thing that's particular about what we do is we do a lot of songs that are old, a lot of songs that that are from the 1800s, from the 1600s, and the fact that that we choose them because those songs, despite their age, they have a real resonance with issues that we see in the world today. um, and I think that that's really important, is pulling that continuity from movements of the past, and the struggles that people were facing um, in those times. Yes, they have changed, but also in some ways they haven't. And bringing attention to that, I think, is something that's really important. At least for it's important among the four of us to what we do is yeah, drawing those connections between the past and the present.
Well, our project that we just finished recording, or almost done, sort of with the mixing and mastering and all of that, is our album called Of Hard Times and Harmony. It's a little bit more introspective. It's a little bit more asking people to examine their own beliefs and their own complicity in systems that are unjust and sort of perpetuate injustices in the world. And so we talk a little bit more about some of that more introspection, rather than just sort of pointing the fingers. And we really don't want people to stop all of these fights just because, okay, we have a Democrat in the White House as opposed to a Republican.
Well, thank you so much for the time. I think you've touched on some wonderful subjects that are going to make your presence here at this Folk Alliance showcase just memorable for people. Thank you so much for taking the time. I wish you well. I hope that we can exchange real elbows at some point, maybe even hugs. Bless you all.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us. It's been so nice to be here.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. We're so glad to have you with us. We are Windborne. I'm Jeremy. This is Lauren, and that's Lynn and Will. We're so grateful to Music to Life for having us here in this showcase, and for that wonderful chat. It was really nice to connect with Noel and hear about what you all are doing, and to speak a little bit about what we're up to. We are a vocal group primarily that sings music from a variety of different cultures that have traditions of harmony singing, and we weren't always political in that music. So we're going to start off this set with a piece that was sort of one of the catalysts for that transformation into singing more music with a message of social justice. It's a piece that originally comes from the Chartist movement in the 1840s in the UK, which is a working class movement for people's rights, for voting rights. And it's a song that unfortunately has remained all too relevant over the interceding 170 odd years. And people have kept singing it and kept adding verses, and we've continued in that tradition. And this is a piece that a lot of people, it's their first exposure to Windborne. We sang it in 2017, in January 2017, outside a particularly shiny tower on Fifth Avenue. So you can think back to when and where that was. And it's a video that went viral. 1 million people saw it, including Music to Life folks. And that's, I think, how we originally connected. The melody is by the great Ian Robb. It's called Song of the Lower Classes. Enjoy.
We plow and sow, we are so low that we delve in the dirty clay, till we bless the plain with golden grain and the vale with the fragrant hay. Our place we know, we are so low down at the landlord's feet. We're not too low the bread to grow, but too low the bread to eat. We're low, we are so low, yet from our fingers glide the silken flow and the robes that glow round the limbs of the sons of pride. And what we get and what we give, we know and we know our share. We're not too low the cloth to weave, but too low the cloth to wear. Down, down we go, we are so low, to the hell of the de-sunk mine. But we gather the proudest gems that glow when the crown of the despot shines. Whenever he lacks upon our backs fresh loads he deigns to lay, we're far too low to vote the tax, but not too low to pay. We're low as to war we go, to fight some foreign country that was yesterday our greatest friend, but today's our enemy. God bless our boys, the papers scream, praise them the churchmen cry. When the war is won and home we come, who cares if we live or die? We're low, so low into boats we go, to flee war in our home country. And we'll try to make a better life when we land across the sea. But it's send them back, the press cries out, back to where they came. We're far too low to feed and clothe, but not too low to blame. We are so low, but soon we know that the low folk will arise. The tyrants in their towers of gold shall hear the people's cries. No more shall they hold us in thrall, their lies we will not heed. But every heart shall hear the call, and the people will be free.
That was a video from us performing at Christmas Celtic Sojourn in Boston in 2017. Now we're going to sing a song that's in Occitan, and Occitan is a minority language spoken in the southern part of France. And there's a really rich heritage of folklore from that region in that language, but this is actually a fairly recently composed piece in that style. It's written by Laurent Cavelier, and he wrote this song actually to protest the opening of a new prison in his home city of Toulouse. And it follows the form of a traditional Occitan counting song, which counts down from 9. It says there are 9 pieces of charcoal for writing, 9 thoughts for mulling over, written on the walls of 9 prisons. And he who is sound of body will go crazy in prison. And as the traditional form goes, each verse, there's fewer and fewer of those things, and the song descends slowly into madness. And this is a recording that we made in the Latches Theatre in Brattleboro, Vermont.
Now carbus per scrivere, now pensados per ministre, sur la pared del now prisu, luces bue benanan, ben kabutu bemichan. Luces bue benanan, ben kabutu bemichan. Luces bue benanan, ben kabutu bemichan. Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Wait Carbus per escrire, Wait pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte wait prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Sed Carbus per escrire, Sed pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte sed prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Ses Carbus per escrire, Ses pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte ses prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Sin Carbus per escrire, Sin pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte sin prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Tres Carbus per escrire, Tres pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte tres prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan. Dus Carbus per escrire, dos pensaros pel ministre, Sulla parte dos prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, 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 in Carbu per escrire, in a pensare per ministre, sulla pare d'un no prisu. Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan, Lucas Bue Benanan, Ben Kabutu Bemichan.
So next, we're going to bring back a song that we sang at FAI last year when we were here. We actually premiered it at FAI last time we were here. And this was a song through the Library of Congress Archive Challenge. And it meant that we got to look through a whole bunch of these songs, old songs in the Library of Congress archives, and choose one to work on and make our own. And we found this fantastic song called The Song of Hard Times, sung by Lily Steele. And it had this message of people, neighbors cheating each other. And so, as we often do these days, we kept the first few verses and then wrote several verses of our own in order to take that theme a little further and point the finger a little further up the chain, as it were. We're particularly excited to show you this. This is one of our more music video type videos that we've done. We actually filmed it in the woods right here outside Will and my home in Western Massachusetts. So we're excited for you to see our video of The Song of Hard Times.
Come all you good people, I'll sing you a song. I'll tell you the truth, I know I ain't wrong. It's from father to mother, from sister to brother. They've gotten the fashion of cheating each other, and it's hard times.
Since cheating has got so much into fashion, I'm afraid it'll spread all over the nation, and it's hard times.
Here's the old baker bakes all the bread we eat. Likewise the old butcher by selling his meat.
They'll tip up the steelyards and make them way down,
And swear it's good weight if it lacks 10 pound, and it's hard times.
Since cheating has got so much into fashion, I'm afraid it'll spread all over the nation,
and it's hard times. Here's the proud banker with keys to his vault. I swear to you all, he's worse by tenfold.
He'll hand you 1,000 and call it a loan.
But then soon enough he'll take all that you own, and it's hard times. Here comes the senator with a tie and a smile. He'll pledge and he'll promise and swear it's no guile.
He'll go to the Capitol and say he's your friend.
Then he'll line his silk pockets and leave you again, and it's hard times.
Since cheating has got so much into fashion, I'm afraid it'll spread all over the nation, and it's hard times. But the Lord of Industry owns the whole lot. He's got nothing to fear, 'cause the senator he's bought. He's fixing the vote and he's rigging the game, but he points to your neighbor when you ask who's to blame. Since cheating's the way of the big corporation, by now it's spread all over the nation, and it's hard times.
Now I've concluded, I've finished my song. I've told you the truth, and I know I ain't wrong.
The butcher may cheat you, the banker ain't fair,
But the problem is really the billionaire,
and it's hard times.
Well, thank you all so much for watching our set. Again, we are Windborne. That's windbornesingers.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. We're so happy to have been here. Thank you to Music to Life for having us.